Good morning to you. Hey, Jesus is Lord. Hey, the Word works. Started talking to you today about Mark chapter 4. The power is in the Word, which is the seed. Now, the subject of this is the power of the seed, that when you plant it in the soil of your heart, so the objects of your heart, it will grow. Now, I've told you this story lots of times. They found tiny seeds in King Tut's tomb and some of those other tombs that was thousands of years old, and they planted it and it still grew because the power or the life is in the seed. Now, so faith is not hard, it's just a little different. So we're going to deal with some of these things. The Word of God is the incorruptible seed. You will plant it and it will grow. But now if you don't plant it, you're not going to have a harvest. You know, some farmer might say, I ain't got no cotton. Somebody says, why don't you have any cotton? I said, I don't know, I ain't got no cotton. Well, did you plant the seed? No. Well, you can't have a harvest where you didn't plant the crop. 30, 60, 100-fold. The 100-fold principle. Well, why do some people just get 30-fold and some 100-fold? Because they plant more seed of the Word. Now, I live in Alabama. I'm a big Alabama-Auburn football fan. I mean, I'm not for either one of them, but I like football. There are more people in Alabama that know who the coach is, how old he is, what he's doing, what the quarterback's saying, what the quarterback's doing, than they do about what the Word of God says about divine life or divine healing. Nothing wrong with football. I mean, I can enjoy football, baseball, whatever, but there are people who know more about who the latest TV star is and who won America's greatest greatest talent or whatever than they do about what the Word of God says about their health. Planting the wrong kind of seed will get you the wrong kind of crop. So the power of this is in the seed, but the seed's got to be planted. You don't plant it, you don't get a crop. I told you this story, but I'm going to tell you again. My dad and I planted a garden for years, and after 50 years, my dad got up one day and said, I'm tired of planting, I'm not going to plant anymore. Well, the next year he had kookaburras and ragweed and stinkweed and Johnson grass because he didn't plant the seed that he wanted after 50 years. So you might say, well, I've been in that faith stuff for a long time. I've been in church a long time, and I know all this stuff. Faith doesn't come by having heard a long time. Just like Dad, he didn't get a crop when he didn't plant it. Well, saints, you're going to simply have to make up your mind what I want and then plant the seed as to what you want. Because just like a farmer, if he wants tomatoes, he plants tomatoes. If he wants squash, he plants squash. Now, I never did plant any cucumbers because I don't like them. Didn't want any, don't want any now. So I don't plant that. Well, if I don't want sickness, don't plant it. If I don't want poverty, don't plant it. Well, what are you talking about? Don't listen to everybody talking about how hard it is to serve God, because Jesus said my yoke is easy and my burden is light. But there's one way to get it. The only way to get it is faith comes by hearing. Excuse me, I got a bug on me. Faith comes by hearing. Hearing by the Word of God. The power's in the Word, but you got to plant it. Quit listening to Uncle Doodad and Sister Doodad and start listening to the Word of God. Just because you go to church don't mean a blooming thing. If you getting the wrong kind of seed planted in your heart while you're there, hey, you got to decide what you want, plant the seed that you want. The power is in the Word to get what you want. But saints, quit planting that other mess and go back to planting the seed in your heart. We'll talk about your heart tomorrow. Hey, have a great day. And remember today, Jesus is Lord. Thank God the Word works.